There is a woman in a nursing home in Japan who is 107 years old. She still recognizes every member of her family. She still laughs at jokes. She still feeds herself 3 meals a day. When researchers studied her and other people who had lived past 100 in that region, they did not find some rare gene or expensive medication keeping them alive. They found something in their gut. These people had unusually high levels of a specific group of bacteria, bifidobacterium, the same bacteria that most people start losing rapidly after the age of 55. The centenarians had somehow held on to theirs. And when the researchers looked at what these people had been eating their entire lives, the answer was not complicated. It was not pills. It was not powders. It was everyday food, fermented vegetables, fiber-rich beans, simple whole meals eaten consistently for decades. Their gut bacteria had been fed properly for 100 years, and in return, those bacteria kept their bodies running in ways that modern medicine still cannot fully explain. Meanwhile, the average American adult has lost so much bacterial diversity that researchers now call it the missing microbes crisis. Most people are walking around with a gut that is starving, and they have no idea because nobody ever taught them which foods actually feed the bacteria that keep them alive. That changes right now. If you stick with this video until the end, I am going to give you 7 specific foods that the latest research says your gut bacteria are desperately begging for. Foods that seal your gut wall, lower inflammation, protect your heart, sharpen your brain, and strengthen your immune system in ways that will genuinely surprise you. This has the power to change your health forever. Let me start by explaining why these 7 foods matter so much more than you might think. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, and the most important thing many of them do is produce a molecule called butyrate. Think of butyrate as the fuel that keeps the walls of your intestines strong and sealed tight. It gives the cells lining your colon 70 to 80% of all the energy they need to function. When those cells get plenty of butyrate, they stay locked together like bricks in a wall, keeping dangerous toxins trapped inside your intestines where they belong. But when butyrate production drops because the bacteria that make it are not getting fed, the wall weakens, gaps open up, and bacterial fragments start leaking into your bloodstream. That triggers quiet, invisible inflammation that runs day and night throughout your entire body. It is the kind of inflammation that drives insulin resistance, clogs arteries, fogs your thinking, makes your joints hurt, and causes weight gain that will not budge no matter what you try. Every food on this list feeds the bacteria that produce butyrate and other protective compounds. Every food on this list has been tested in real studies on real people, and not a single one of them is expensive or hard to find. Food number 1 is garlic and onions. These 2 ingredients are in almost every kitchen in the world, and most people have no idea they are among the most powerful gut medicines on the planet. Garlic and onions are packed with a natural fiber called inulin, and inulin is the favorite food of bifidobacterium, one of the most important beneficial bacteria in your entire digestive system. When inulin reaches your colon, bifidobacterium and other good bacteria break it down and produce butyrate as a byproduct. Every time you cook with garlic and onions, you are literally manufacturing gut wall repair material inside your own body. But that UC Irvine study I mentioned at the beginning found something even more remarkable. Inulin does not just feed good bacteria, it actually retains them. The researchers discovered that gut bacteria exposed to inulin develop the ability to intercept and break down harmful fructose in the small intestine before it ever reaches the liver. That means the garlic and onions in your dinner are not only strengthening your gut wall, they are also reprogramming your bacteria to act as a shield against the sugar damage that causes fatty liver disease and insulin resistance. You do not need a lot. Half a raw onion or 2 to 3 cloves of garlic a day is enough to make a real difference. Cooking them reduces the inulin content slightly, but does not eliminate it. Food number 2 is lentils, chickpeas, and beans. If there is one food group that your gut bacteria are truly starving for, it is legumes. 1 cup of cooked lentils delivers about 16 grams of fiber, which is more than half of what most adults are supposed to eat in an entire day. That fiber includes resistant starch and special carbohydrates called oligosaccharides that your body cannot digest, but your good bacteria absolutely love. When your bacteria ferment these fibers, they produce butyrate, propionate, and acetate. 3 short-chain fatty acids that each protect your health in different ways. Butyrate seals the gut wall and reduces inflammation. Propionate has been shown to lower inflammation throughout the body. Acetate helps regulate appetite and supports healthy cholesterol levels. And here's a number worth remembering. A major analysis published in the BMJ found that for every extra 7 grams of fiber a person eats per day, their risk of cardiovascular disease drops by 9%. 1 cup of lentils or beans gives you more than double that amount. If you are not used to eating legumes, start small, a quarter cup a day, and increase gradually over 2 weeks. Your gut bacteria need time to build up their populations, and starting slowly keeps the gas and bloating to a minimum while your microbiome adjusts. Food number 3 is oats. Oats contain a unique type of fiber called beta-glucan that does something most other fibers cannot do. It feeds butyrate-producing bacteria, and it directly strengthens the physical structure of your gut wall at the same time. Research published in 2025 showed that daily beta-glucan intake actually improves the intestinal mucosal structure and mechanical barrier function, meaning it physically helps seal the gaps between cells that cause leaky gut. Other research found that oat beta-glucan expanded populations of Ruminococcus, a key fiber-digesting bacterium, and reversed harmful changes in gut bacteria that were driving liver disease in animal models. Beta-glucan is also the compound behind the well-known cholesterol-lowering effect of oats. It changes the behavior of gut bacteria that control bile acid metabolism, which in turn pulls LDL cholesterol out of the blood. So a bowl of oatmeal in the morning is simultaneously feeding your good bacteria, repairing your gut lining, and lowering your cholesterol, all from one simple, inexpensive food. Steel-cut or rolled oats have the highest beta-glucan content. Instant oats still have some, but less. Food number 4 is cooked and cooled potatoes and green bananas. This one surprises most people because potatoes have a bad reputation. But researchers at the University of Michigan ran a study with 174 participants comparing different types of resistant starch. And they found that resistant starch from potatoes produced the greatest increase in butyrate compared to every other source they tested, more than cornstarch, more than inulin from chicory root. Potatoes won. The trick is how you prepare them. When you cook a potato and then let it cool, the starch changes its structure through a process called retrogradation. It becomes resistant starch, meaning your body can no longer digest it, so it passes through to your colon, where your bacteria ferment it into butyrate. You can reheat the potato after cooling, and it still keeps most of the resistant starch. So potato salad, cooled roasted potatoes added to a meal, or leftover potatoes reheated the next day are all delivering a powerful dose of the exact fuel your butyrate producers need. A separate study found that adding just 1 potato side dish per day was enough to increase the population of butyrate-producing bacteria in healthy adults. Green bananas work the same way. When a banana is still slightly green and firm, it is loaded with a type of resistant starch called RS2 that goes straight to feeding your colon bacteria. As the banana ripens and turns yellow, that resistant starch converts into regular sugar that gets absorbed before it ever reaches your good bacteria. So the greener the banana, the more your gut benefits. Food number 5 is berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are among the richest food sources of compounds called polyphenols. And polyphenols do something extraordinary in the gut. They act as a selective fertilizer for specific beneficial bacteria. Research from UCSF found that polyphenols from grapes and berries dramatically increase the growth of Akkermansia mucinifera, one of the most important bacteria for maintaining a healthy metabolism, controlling inflammation, and keeping body weight in check. Other research confirmed that berry polyphenols also feed bifidobacterium and lactobacillus while reducing harmful bacteria. But here is the part that makes berries truly special. Wild blueberry compounds were shown to actually restore the protective mucus layer that coats the inside of your intestines. The same mucus layer that processed foods, emulsifiers, and artificial sweeteners are constantly eroding. So berries are not just feeding the right bacteria, they are rebuilding the physical shield that protects your gut wall from damage. A clinical trial called Be Active found that regular blueberry consumption created a positive feedback loop. The more you eat them, the more polyphenol metabolizing bacteria you grow, and the more benefit you get from every berry after that. A handful of berries every day is enough. Food number 6 is plain yogurt and kefir. Fermented dairy products are unique because they deliver both live beneficial bacteria and the compounds those bacteria feed on, making them natural 2-in-1 packages. The Stanford trial, published in Cell, tested fermented foods head-to-head against a high-fiber diet for 10 weeks. The fermented food group, which included yogurt and kefir, saw a significant increase in gut bacterial diversity and a measurable drop in 19 inflammatory markers, including interleukin-6, which is directly linked to heart disease, diabetes, and accelerated aging. The high-fiber group did not achieve the same anti-inflammatory effect in that time frame. The FDA now allows a qualified health claim stating that eating yogurt at least 2 cups per week may reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. A clinical trial on kimchi, another fermented food, found that 12 weeks of daily consumption enhanced the precision of immune cells, making them better at detecting threats without triggering unnecessary inflammation. Kefir is even more diverse than yogurt, typically containing 30 to 50 bacterial strains compared to 2 to 7 in most yogurts. 1 cup of plain kefir every morning is one of the single most impactful things you can do for your gut. The key word is plain. Flavored yogurts often contain 15 to 25 grams of added sugar per serving, which feeds the harmful bacteria and cancels out the benefit entirely. Food number 7 is extra virgin olive oil. Most people think of olive oil as a heart-healthy fat, and it is, but the reason it protects your heart starts in your gut. Extra virgin olive oil is unusually rich in polyphenols, the same type of plant compound that makes berries so powerful. Research has shown that these polyphenols act as prebiotics inside the gut, promoting the growth of bifidobacterium and lactobacillus while reducing inflammatory markers. A 2026 study found that people who followed a Mediterranean diet centered on extra virgin olive oil had higher levels of Faecalibacterium prausnitzii, the key butyrate producer, and that their gut microbiome profile directly correlated with preserved brain function as they aged. The critical detail is that it must be extra virgin. Regular or light olive oil has been processed and stripped of most of its polyphenols. Without those polyphenols, it is just fat. Extra virgin olive oil retains everything because it is cold-pressed and unrefined. 1 to 2 tablespoons a day drizzled over salads, vegetables, or bread is enough to deliver a meaningful prebiotic dose. Do not deep fry with it. High heat destroys the polyphenols. So there are your 7 foods, garlic and onions that reprogram your gut bacteria to destroy harmful sugar before it damages your liver. Lentils and beans that deliver more butyrate-producing fiber per cup than almost any other food on earth. Oats that simultaneously feed good bacteria and physically repair the structure of your gut wall. Cooked and cooled potatoes and green bananas that produce more butyrate than any other resistant starch tested. Berries that selectively grow Akkermansia and rebuild the protective mucus lining of your intestines. Plain yogurt and kefir that increase bacterial diversity and lower 19 markers of inflammation in 10 weeks. And extra virgin olive oil whose polyphenols feed the exact bacteria linked to a sharper brain and a longer life. None of these foods are rare. None of them are expensive. Every single one of them is available at any grocery store. The centenarians who kept their bifidobacterium alive past 100 did not do it with supplements or medical breakthroughs. They did it with meals like these, eaten consistently, day after day, year after year. Your gut bacteria are not asking for anything complicated. They are asking for real food. and now you know exactly which foods to give them.